Today on the agenda, I'm going to talk about how to update your OpenWRT router. Now, I've previously had and currently still do at this point a TP-Link router. That router has served well. It does have its issues with it, such as the Wi-Fi going offline randomly, but I want to be able to switch to this Linksys WRT 1900 AC router that I've had for some time now, but just haven't used. The reason being is because, well, I've gotten faster internet recently. I've actually got an upgrade up to 400 megabits, and I went to go run a speed test via a wired connection, and for whatever reason, the connection kept topping out at a max of 250 megabits. So I'm like, is it a technology thing or is it something else? So I'm going to get this router back up and running, and if this router can actually sustain a faster internet connection, then, well, I'll be switching back over to the Linksys. That being said, let's go ahead and get started. So I went to the OpenWRT website, openwrt.org, and what you do here is you scroll down. So at the time of this recording of this video, the current version is 22.03. Thus, if you are watching this in the future, the version number may have changed, but this is the current version. The actual latest version, bleeding edge version, is 22.03.3. And that was released on January 9th, 2023. It is currently April 6th, 2023. Now you have two options of getting the latest version. You can go here to the table of hardware, or you can do the firmware selector. What I did was I came over here to the firmware selector, I really typed in WRT 1900, and I have version 1. Now, if I try to do the 22.03.3, there is no model that maps to this, but the previous version does have a download available for it. What I did was, because I already have OpenWRT installed on this router, I'm going to actually do a system upgrade. However, if you're doing this for the first time and you're getting away from the manufacturer's firmware, you would then come over here and click the factory button, not the system upgrade. And if you just so happen to break your router, you would come over here and click the kernel button. But you probably shouldn't need to do this. You would more likely need to do the factory upgrade or system upgrade. All right, so now that I'm here, this is what it looks like. And it is up and running. Like I said, it's plugged into the same computer that I'm doing this recording from, because this particular computer actually has two Ethernet ports on it, both of which are gigabit Ethernet. So what I'm going to do is to come over to System and then backup/flash firmware, and scroll down. Now, if you're doing this, if you already have OpenWRT and you are upgrading, what you want to do is actually create a backup. So you'll click the generate archive button, to which then that will download a file here, as you see here, this backup file. And then in the event something happens, you can restore that backup or whatnot. And then the configuration, you shouldn't need to come over here to the configuration. Pretty much everything that I'm going to be doing, at least in this video, will be from the Actions tab. So next you'll come down to the Flash New Firmware Image, and you click Flash Image, and it'll give you the option to browse. And I downloaded this. Let's see if it'll let me pick. There we go. So this is the 22.03.2 version that I was talking about. And so then you'll select that, and as you see it's populated, then hit upload. So what I want to do is to, you can have the option of keeping the settings, skip the backups, or include a, let's see, include in the backup list, all factors, keep the current settings and retain the configuration. Because, I mean, pretty much I haven't used this router in who knows how long, and so it has no custom configuration. Like, everything in here that is running as it currently stands are the defaults. Now, one thing that this router does have the ability to do, when I previously had it with OpenWRT, if I'm not mistaken, it had the ability to be able to do VLANs. And that's something that I want to do with my the network that I want to eventually switch to, is to have VLANs. Main reason, so I don't have to do what is known as the 3 dumb routers setup. Now you're probably asking, well, what is going on while you're talking? Well, right now the device, it sounds like it has already restarted. when this router actually has a fan in it, because of the fact it has a dual core processor in it. And so when it restarts, the first thing that happens is, usually after it does this initial self-test, is that the fan kicks on. All right, so the page has reloaded, and this has no password on it by default because, well, like I say, it's the original version. And as you see, the local time, that is not the local time. I need to fix that, and maybe that'll fix itself through a DNS update. All right, so we have firmware version. This is what I was looking for. So we have OpenWRT 22.03, and so the firmware is now up to date. Now, the next set of things I'm gonna have to do on here is to configure the rest of this network configuration and so forth, how I want it to be. But as you see, everything seems to be working. Got the 2 wireless networks, got the 2.4 and the 5 gigahertz. Come over to the system tab just to peek at other things here, and the local time is wrong. Let's see if that'll actually synchronize. There we go. All right, so that time is correct. So that is GMT time. Okay, maybe, yeah, the UTC. Okay, it's in the wrong time zone, but the time is up to date compared to what it was before. So that's close enough. And I'm gonna save, and I'll come back in here and configure the rest of this later. But that's it. That's how you update a router on OpenWRT. If you have any comments or questions about this particular process, feel free to drop those down below. I'll be glad to make a future video on the topic if your question is related to this topic. Thank you for checking out this video, and if you have not already, please be sure to follow and subscribe, and also give me a thumbs up. See you in the next one.